right, so I wanted to go back live here. This is kind of like a follow-up of after the 2017 International Live or Flat Earth Conference in North Carolina. I'm just about a half an hour from home, and so I'm on my way driving into the sunrise here. So part of what I found out in my challenges here is I got to an area where they were sending me through some very low signal strength areas where there was limited communications ability for broadcast. And I don't know why that is, because I was actually able to see cell towers like within a few hundred yards of my vehicle. So I don't know what's going on with that. Don't claim to. I'm not sure how that works out. So I'm headed obviously in towards the sunrise, like southeast, and actually it's coming up more over from that direction. It's kind of like centered. You can see the light spectrums are different for the sun and the moon, so I'm commenting on that a little bit. And then the other thing is, some of this will be a little bit of a repeat of my earlier broadcast, and so I understand that that's going to happen. It's not like I'm forgetting what I said. I'm just saying it to different people at a different time. And so it's all pretty interesting. We have the ability to do more than what we do 24/7, because there's the real, or I should say the physiological interface that we have with this human experience, which is our body and our soul that inhabits the body. We're eternal souls inhabiting a human body that has an expiration date that we don't necessarily know what it is exactly. God knows exactly what it is. He's numbered all our days, and for me, I have the joy and the peace of knowing a passion, purpose, and perspective of this human experience that I never had before. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to flip this around just to say, hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate the public and private support that so many of you give me. It was so excellent to meet friends that I had been friends on Facebook for quite some time, and YouTube supporters, Facebook supporters, and commenters, and then meeting new people. It was actually kind of surreal. Imagine this, meeting people in public that I had never met or seen before that actually wanted to connect one with another. It's almost like a meme or a video meme. It's like, hey, what's your name? What's your site? Yeah, I'll send you a friend request or a private message. And in a lot of the, with what's happened with social media, it gets so combative and convoluted with, oh yeah, now imagine when Facebook first started out, oh, have all your friends and family connected. Yeah, how was that? How's that working for you? It's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, I remember going to school. Yeah, I remember. I don't want to connect with you now because you're a little too weird for me. So I'm getting the prompt that I've got a very bad connection again. So I'm going to flip this around, and let's see what we got going on with the sunrise, or the sun appearing. But it's kind of interesting with the social media. What is so beneficial, as I see it, is that it can allow for a grassroots sharing of the truth, what we believe to be the truth. So right now I'm looking at a cell tower that's less than a quarter of a mile away. Actually, it's about 700 feet away, 2 football fields and a little bit more, and I'm getting a very bad connection. How does that even work? The other thing that I'm noticing, this is like a notation for me. as I'm broadcasting, and just, you know, considering what's going on, and maybe you can help me with that. Because okay, so now I ended my GPS navigation, and I'm still showing a very bad connection. So my belief that that was causing a problem may not be completely accurate. I'm out here on 905, and there's a lot of cell towers around. Don't know why I'm getting the bad connection. It says poor connection, very, very poor connection. Now, what I wanted to talk about is with the cell towers. More recently, on a Facebook post, and it's a YouTube video, what I made mention of on there is that basically it looks like there may be cell tower activity in as a catalyst for combustion in the Northern California fires. And yes, they may have used matches and campfire evidence to show that, oh, it was a careless camper, oh, it was a smoker, oh, it was a terrorist, or, oh, yeah, it was all of that. However, the cell towers may have been actually activated by artificial intelligence, and they could have been a catalyst for combustion. We've got directed energy weapons that could have contributed to that also, like lasers that are on drones, and who knows how else they can bounce a laser. Maybe they can bounce a laser off of the firmament or the ionosphere. I'm not sure. I don't know. What I do know is the forensic evidence that I was able to see from video, along with commentary from professionals that did arson and firefighting training and investigation. You know, just the whole field of the dynamics of fire and all that. The real challenging evidence that I heard of and saw was the amount of heat, the things that were melted, ceramic roof tiles that have impregnated metal, and homes that were completely incinerated, ashes from bodies that were found, indicating the type of temperature, at least of like a crematorium, in that house, as well as engine blocks of cars that were melted, and real close by greenery surrounding the burn site. Not in one location, in many locations. How is that even possible? So with that in mind, I simply wanted to alert people to a situation that I wanted to call your attention to, and that is the Northern California wildfires. I've heard from people right out there that it seems as though there's a lot of people missing from there. That's not being reported on the news. Actual hotels, motels that don't show the presence of a population that's looking for temporary shelter. So where are the people from the fires? Did they get burned up? Did they get moved to an area, a relocation camp maybe, that has a, what would we say, like no cell phone there? You know, some of this stuff may sound paranoid and may sound weird. However, if there were people that saw something and knew of something that they didn't want to get public, they would just take all the cell phones, do a search, give them some new clothes and a place to live, and not allow communications with the outside world. So I don't know if any of that happened. If you have information on that, please share that video with me, and I'll share it. However, that may be challenging for you, but keep in mind, as we're exposing the truth, it can be, there's the possibility of them wanting to neutralize us in that. They, the artificial intelligence, disable an account or disable a human body. Kill them. That can happen. People can be killed for telling the truth. Look at the body count around the Clintons. It happened. It was very disturbing. It is disturbing. Look at the Clintons. They're very disturbing individuals to look at. Their life and what they've done and believed to be doing. So with being aware of the level of deception, or much of it, I don't claim to know it all. That's not what I'm about here. I'm going to flip this around. I'm not aware of all of the deception. That would be kind of a proud thing to say. I'm not. What I am is aware of some of it, quite a bit of it, and I want to make that public so people can make an informed choice. So I'm not actually like giving you a consultation per se. When I say I encourage everybody to hear, share, and of course obey God's word, at that point I'm consulting you to do that, I would say. I believe that's biblical, that I should do that. I'm not a financially compensated consultant for that. Yeah, so I'm gonna flip this back around. It's kind of interesting. So there's a lot of trees around here. A lot of it's a whole different environment than the open ocean, and some of that is an evidence for me to just take a look at it. What does a sunrise look like out here? Close to home right now. I don't believe I'm going to be walking in with the camera running. I'd like to show you the kitties, but yeah, I don't need to do that. I'm going to see how this looks and how close I want to go to the beach. I might take it into the backyard or something. And one of the reasons why I'm thinking out loud is that, you know, I find that I do that some, and it can be kind of helpful. When I get home, of course I want to see our cats and go online and do some research and see what kind of activity's been going on, and make some coffee. That'll be nice. I met some fascinating people at the conference, glad to have gone, and it'll be interesting to see what does transpire from that, and what they do with that. Who are they? Well, it wasn't just a broadcast or a recording from corporate media and independents. To a certain extent, many of us were independents, and what I found interesting for me is I could have gone live and actually opted not to at the conference. It wasn't like I was told not to. I just decided not to. It was a little bit of a different perspective in that I couldn't go live when I was being interviewed in some cases, and then in others they didn't mind if other independent organizations didn't have the corporate structure that prohibited a live broadcast by me while they were recording me. It added a complication that I didn't want for the broadcast, and in that. So, and actually for the interview either. So, Red Ice Radio was one of them that did this, and there were several others that I'm just going to leave off mention right now because I don't know what they're going to release. I don't know what they're going to do with that, and I don't have all the data of everybody. There were people going around. If you see something of me on the on the information that goes out about the conference, and you have concerns or questions about something that you saw there with me or others, feel free to private message or call me. What I would say is that in the truth movements, there's a spiritual smorgasbord. Many of us are participants in multiple truth movements, and I believe that I'm involved in the most important truth movement, in which I mention I believe Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and he's the head of the truth movement that I'm in. That's what I do with that. So the laws of perspective, as I go for a drive like this, the telephone poles, when I get close to them, appear to be about the same height, and yet because of perspective they look smaller and shorter, and the road appears to come up and the road appears to get narrower and all that further out. What are your observations with on your sitting there on your computer or mobile device, which is a mobile computer? So now I've got a really good connection on 905 close to Highway 9, getting within probably 20 minutes of where we live. The fragrance of burning wood, like campfires or wood burners, fireplaces in the air. I just smell so good. There's a sign right there alongside the road that said firewood. Yeah, it adds a really pleasant aroma. Yeah, an aroma, an atmosphere. It may sound kind of funny, but even in the houses that I've lived in, where we currently live, I'll take a piece of cured hardwood and light it on fire so it smolders a little bit. It'll put the fragrance of smoke in the air with very little particulate, and it's just a fragrance, really nice aroma. And then one of the other things that I'll do sometimes is put the fragrance of a citrus spray, and that's really pleasant as well. So part of the exercise here, when I make observations that you might think are redundant or irrelevant, I would hope you would consider something, is that it'd be kind of like if we were on a ride together in the car and I was just talking to you. We were having a conversation. However, I'm not able to read comments effectively when I drive, so I pretty much ignore comments as I'm driving because of a safety concern. That's the main point there. And then the idea too is, as we you know, do different exercise like walking and running and bicycling or lifting weights, or thinking, what can we notice? What are we noticing about the life around us? Now at this location I've got a very bad connection, poor connection. Why would that be? I have no clue. Not sure. The other thing is I've had a serious draw on my device. It's not allowing me to charge very effectively as I'm driving. So I'm losing my power percentage level as I go. Wow, the sunrise is gorgeous. More off to the left here. Kind of pan over there a little bit. One of the challenges that I'm having is that there are people adding ads to my videos, and I don't want it. So if you've got, I'm going to flip it around so you can know I'm talking. If you scroll through a video like that, I may remember to do that, and then I'm going to flip it back around so you can see the beauty of this. Is that there are advertisements being monetized or added to my work on other people's channels, and I really don't want there to be the advertisements that are basically spreading deception. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to eliminate that. I'm going to go to settings. I was told I might be able to limit it there. Whenever I've tried to I'm going to also try and contact YouTube directly if I have a problem with stopping that notification. See, I can't tell when you're watching one of my videos if ads are coming up. If they are, please let me know. And what are they advertising? I know for me, I'll get theoretical physicists that basically are perpetuating a lie for me. I don't know if they do that to try and bug me, or they just blanket everybody with that deception. Not sure. So if you can let me know when you watch one of my videos, what kind of advertisement you're seeing, if any. See, we've got the billboards that are around, and I can either glance at them or over at the trees, whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we can look at. The speed limit sign that I'm dropping down to. Yeah, just a mention of that. I make a practice of adhering to the speed limits and all the obeying the laws, because I'm supposed to, and it's way less stressful. There's a chemical cocktail that's released in our brain through what we do or don't do, and procrastination, and exceeding the speed limit, or doing the right thing and feeling good about it. There's different effects on all of that in our brain. Different brain chemicals for doing the right thing. Dopamine is the reward center, and that's what Jesus activates for obediently walking with Him. So what I would encourage everybody to do is to do research. Yeah, so I'm just going to show you like the water, the pond. I can tell there's a gentle breeze blowing because of the reflections on the water there. It's just what the water does. Physics and properties of water, reflective and fluid, and there's a lot going on with that. I want to thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, and I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast and say thank you so much for your public and private encouragement. As always, I encourage everybody to hear, share, and of course, obey God's Word, Bible.com.